Hi, and welcome to another edition of Off the Page. Today I'm featuring an idea from a book I haven't featured yet. It's called From Tutor Scripts to Talking Sticks, and I co-authored it with one of my good friends and sometimes co-teaching partner, Sheila Danaher. The idea I'm featuring is taken right from the title. It's idea number 40, and it's called Talking Sticks. Talking sticks, like all of the other ideas in this book, can be created with the materials you already have on hand. That's what the whole book is about. We almost called it dollar store differentiation, seriously, because everything is, you can make it with paper plates and Velcro and a Sharpie and you're good to go. And we did that because we wanted teachers to have some options for creating things on the fly. And we also love this idea of creating tangibles. And the reason for that is if you give somebody an idea for a strategy or a structure, they may remember to use it, they may not. But if you provide materials, sometimes that serves as a visual cue for the teacher. Oh, that's right. My speech path told me about this, or a special ed teacher told me about this, and this would be a good time to insert that strategy. So I just like that element of it. Talking sticks is one of my favorite ideas actually from the book because it's just so elegant in its simplicity. It's just an easy idea. You are going to create popsicle sticks or craft sticks with questions on them. So you can either just take, I just use these little craft sticks. I mean, you could use anything. You don't have to use sticks. You could have strips of paper or index cards, quite frankly, but I just think they're cute. So, and then when you create them, you can either, give one stick to every student, or you can, and that would be like one question on each stick. Or you can just take a bunch of sticks with questions and put them in little plastic cups and then place them on tables in the classroom and have students take turn answering them in groups. So there's lots of ways to play with them once you have created the materials. So let me back up a little bit. Talking sticks was created, this idea of just creating these question sticks for use in the classroom. That was created because Sheila and I worked with so many kids who have communication needs. They need practice in answering and asking questions. They may need practice around, pragmatics in general. They may need support around, using new vocabulary. So in creating these materials, we thought, well, it'll be a reminder to our colleagues that, hey, this is a good time I can practice that skill. So if you are a support person, this might be a good idea for you to actually create and pass on to somebody. There are really two different kinds of questions that you can design. There's probably more, but I'm going to talk about two. You can either create getting to know you questions. So, those would be the things that you would use in homeroom or in the first week of school. And getting to know you questions, could be anything from what is your favorite animal to what is your favorite animated movie to what is currently under your bed. I like that one. It's kind of funny. Who is your hero? Or even something like, have you ever been stung by a bee? If you would rather plug your questions into a content, into like a framework, a standards-based framework, then you could create, content-based questions, sticks that have those kinds of questions. So you could use those, as a kickoff to a unit or as a review or even as kind of an active KWL or something like that. So I'll give you a couple of ideas of content-based questions that you could use across subject areas. For social studies, you might use something like, would you rather be in the Senate, on the Supreme Court, or the president, and why? What is your favorite genre, and how often do you read outside of it? When is the last time you estimated in real life? Are you more of a hexagon, square, or acute angle? What is your favorite type of aerobic exercise? So that's just a sampling of the kinds of questions that you might create. Now, speaking of creating questions, keep in mind that if you want to create the questions initially so that students can sort of get a feel for the activity, that's great. But then maybe for your older students, they would want to, create your questions for you in subsequent units or for new activities that you want to try with talking sticks. So keep that in mind. The other thing to be aware of is you may want to get the most out of these materials is you may want to be very pointed in thinking about what skills to practice. So as you pass these on to others or use them yourselves, think about what kinds of skills are the most important for my students to learn or practice. For instance, you could use talking sticks to support a student in using an audible voice. You could use talking sticks to support somebody in maintaining the topic. You could use talking sticks to help a student access a new communication system or device. And all of those would be really nice ways to not just bring this idea into an inclusive classroom, but to show a general educator, for example, how we can teach related skills right alongside standards-based content. I hope that this idea has been one that will be interesting and that you might be able to use. Maybe it's one that you can use immediately, especially if you have some of these handy-dandy craft sticks in the closet in your classroom. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you like the videos, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel or just subscribe to my webpage, www.paulakluth.com, and every time we upload a video, we'll make sure it gets sent to you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time on Off the Page.